6.1, we're talking about roots and radicals. All right, roots and radicals. So a lot of this has to do with square roots, cube roots, fourth roots, fifth roots. All right, that's what we're talking about today. All right, so I want to remind you what a square root is. When you have a square root, right, that means that you have two identical factors on the inside. So, for example, 64. The square root of 64 is 8, right? Or if I have the square root of x to the fourth. It's x to the second, exactly. So you guys know your square roots, right? If you have a square root of, let's say, negative 64, can you have two identical numbers multiplied together to give you a negative 64? No. So this is no solution. You cannot have a even radical be negative on the inside. Okay? So, leaving that alone for a minute, let's talk about a cube root. If I have a cube root of, let's say, 8, cube root means that we now have to have 3 of the same thing. So 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. Or the cube root of 8 is 2. 3 of the same. If I have the cube root of x to the third, I have 3 x's in there, so this just equals x. Exactly. Now here's where it's a little bit different. If I have the cube root of negative 64, oops, I got to put my cube root there. It's not a cube root without it. If it is negative on the inside and it's an odd root, your answer will be negative. The correct answer to this is negative 4. Right? Because if I have negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4, I'm going to get a negative 64. So here are the 2 rules I want you to think about. First rule, even roots must be positive. Odd roots the sign inside is the sign outside. All right, so let's get down a little bit more to what our homework is going to look like today. This is the general idea behind it. However, example number 1, this covers 10 through 13. We are doing all today. The directions ask you to find all real roots. Oh, sorry, all real square roots. My bad. Square roots. Forgot the word square. Got to have that in there. All right. So if I give you, how about 1 over 25? If you don't know what it is off the top of your hand, it's a number. What are you going to grab that you have on your desk in front of you?
Calculator.
Okay, so this is the square root. Tell me what is the root to 1 over 25?
0.2.
1/5. Thank you. This starts off as a fraction, has to finish as a fraction. Why are you shaking your head? Starts as a fraction and finishes as a fraction. What if I give you this? 0.00. 17. This starts with a decimal. What is the answer, Logan? 0.04. All right, so obviously we have some question going on. This is asking for a square root. You're grabbing your yellow thing on your desk, going to a square root, and plugging the number in. If it starts as a fraction, it finishes as a fraction. If it starts as a decimal, it finishes as a decimal. Do we have a question with that? Perfectly clear. Okay. Example number 2. For example number 2, this is going to cover your 14 through 17. 14 through 17, find all real cube roots. So let's start off with 0.027, I think about that. 0.027, sorry. So if you do not know where the cube root is in your calculator, it is in math. All right, hey you guys, do me a favor. Several of you are filling out forms and stuff right now. It's not the time. Please just set them aside. It's not one or two of you, it's several, so please put those aside. Let's do math right now, okay? Thank you very much. 0.3. Thank you. 0.3 is correct. All right, what if I gave you 1 over 125? 1/5. Exactly, very good. All right, what if I said -8? -2. All right, so in this case, because it's an odd root, you can have your answer as a negative. Example number 3. This is going to cover your 18 through 21. Find all real 4th roots. So let's say I give you 16. What is the 4th root of 16? 2. Good. Let's say I give you 1 over 81. 1/3. Very good. All right. So if you're looking for it in your calculator, it is also in math. You'll notice that when you go down, there's one that's got an X that represents the number on the outside. You're putting a 4 in that position for the 4th root. What if I had -16? No solution. Good. Because it is an even root, you cannot have a negative. Sure. Any question on those? So again, it starts as a decimal, it finishes as a decimal. If it starts as a fraction, it finishes as a fraction. So one more. Let's say I have, I don't know, let's go 81 over 625. What would that one be? Correct. Very good. The same as saying I'm doing the 4th root of the top and the 4th root of the bottom. Or you put it into your calculator and math enter, and you get 3 over 5. All right. Any questions with those? Okay. Moving on to example number 4 then. All right, find each real roots. So now I'm going to mix them up a bit. So let's say I have the square root of 100. 10. Beautiful. Let's say I have the cube root of negative 27. Negative 3. Let's say I have the fourth root of, how about 81? Thank you. It is 3. Okay. So this is all you are doing. It's a Friday. You got to pay attention to the number that's on the outside. And this is what you are doing for 22 through 25. Huh? Yes. Yeah. Example number 5. Not really. 26 through 29. I'm going to ask that you simplify the radical. So, this is one you've done many, many times before. Let's say I have 16x to the 4th. If I were going to simplify that, we would break 6. Yes, that is correct, 4x squared. We would break this down into 4 times 4, and this is x squared and x squared, right? So we can simplify that because you're looking for 2 of the same thing. What if I had the cube root of negative 27x to the 3rd, y to the 6th? So this time, because I have a 3 on the outside, I'm looking for how many friends? 3. Okay? Now, because it's negative on the inside, my answer has to be a negative. Exactly. Start with 27. It breaks down to 3 times 3 times 3. Right? X breaks down into 3 x's, so we have one group of x's that come out. And how many groups of y's? 2. Good. All right, let's throw one more up here. How about the 5th root? So that's going to mean you need how many friends? 5. Good. So let's do 32 a to the 10th, b to the 15th. Very good. So this breaks down into 16 times 2. 16 is 8 times 2. 8 is 4 times 2. And 4 is 2 and 2. And this time we needed 5 friends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So a group of 2's comes out. We have 10 A's, which means 2 groups of 5 A's come out. And if we have 15 B's, we have 3 groups of 5 B's. Seems pretty easy so far, right? Yeah. All right. Example number 6. Example number 6 is going to cover our 31 through 34. Now here I'm going to ask you to find the solution to the equation. So now I have an equal sign involved. Now I'm solving. If I have x squared equals 49, how do I solve that? Square root both sides, I agree. I disagree. plus or minus 7. Okay? So when it's an even root, you're going to have plus or minus. Same thing if I had x to the 4th equals 16. Correct. I would take the 4th root of both sides, and we will get x equals plus and minus 2. However, what if I had x to the 3rd equals, what, 216, I think? Yeah. Is that right? I'm trying to remember. Oops. Hold on. Yeah. All right, so now what am I going to do? Cube root it, okay? Cube root both sides, cube root, cube root. What is the cube root of 216? 6. So x equals 6. But it's only positive 6 because what's inside my radical? Positive. So when it's an odd value in there, when it's an odd radical, whatever the value is on the inside is what it is on the outside. So at the same time, if I had x to the 3rd equals negative 64, when I cube root both sides, this time I get x equals negative 4. Because with an odd radical, it's got to be just that sign. Okay? We're doing all right? Yes. All right. Last one. I think this is example 7, right? Yep. All right. And this is going to cover your 30 and 36. So let's say that the voltage of your speakers is represented by V equals 7 square root P, where V is volume and P equals power. Find the voltage, which is actually where the volume comes in, right? Find the voltage when the speaker is how about 600 watts. I think that's what I want. All right, so all this is asking you to do, you're using this formula. It sounds like a lot of different words that all mean the same thing, right? All you're taking is this 600 right here, and you're plugging it in where P is. So you have V equals 7 square root 600. Then you grab your wonderful calculator. And in that wonderful calculator, you type in 7 square root 600. Thank you. That's the answer. Yeah, so make sure you're paying attention to where it goes into, okay? So, for example, one of them asks you to plug it inside, and the other one asks you to set it equal to it. You've got to pay attention to what information they're giving you, okay? Any questions? You guys will easily have this done before 2 o'clock. All right, go ahead and get started. Yeah, just sign out for me, okay, Michael? Thank you.